exceptionally upset about U.S. aid. I lived in a refugee camp for 4 years as a child surviving civil war. It is the essential programs that U.S. aid provided that kept my family and I fed and safe. It is the resources that so many people around the world rely on. And it is our soft power. Oftentimes, people interact with our country through the military. That does not create love for us, and it certainly does not keep us safe.
Well, guys, I'm back one more time. You know who I am. I'm that dude from Columbia, South Carolina. I go by the moniker Drummer 1980. Family, I hope you're having a good day today. And if that's not the case, ask yourself why. Because after all, remember, happiness is an inside job. Did you hear me? Happiness is an inside job, and it will always be an internal affair. Well, guys, we back today again. You might as well get your popcorn out, because this here is going to be a barn burner, guys. I have Tariq Nasheed first, and then after Tariq Nasheed, I have the anchorman of the new black media, Jason Black, coming to solidify everything. So I have many clips, guys. Get your popcorn and let's talk about this thing. Let's go, guys.
So, family, you know what's interesting? We got to get on this immediately. Did y'all see Ilhan Omar? She was doing a press conference, a speech, or whatever the hell she's doing. So they got the Democrats running out here trying to, talk down at Trump. Trump is doing all types of sanctions, tariffs. He didn't stop U.S. aid to foreign nations. And boy, a lot of the immigrants start freaking out. I'm like, what's going on with this U.S. aid? Boy, when he started that U.S. aid, they really started freaking out. And Ilhan Omar, she was doing a press conference saying that she was in a refugee camp until she was like 4. And it was that U.S. aid that really helped her family and helped her people get through. And, oh, no, we can't stop the U.S. aid. So family, now these people are panicking because this U.S. aid is being stopped. Now, what's going on with this U.S. aid? Because, see, these immigrants, they come over here and they tell foundational Black Americans, look, nigga, you lazy akata, I came here with $3 and some bush meat and I made it. How come you're not making it? They run that game. Family, do y'all know that's what's all in that U.S. aid? Boy, they get a grab bag of damn goodies before they even get here, man. I'm looking into some of this U.S. aid because they're really tripping out that it got stopped. They start really freaking out. When Trump announced that U.S. aid is going to stop, boy, things got very musty around the country. People started getting musty, freaking out, and they're like, uh-oh. I'm like, what the hell is in this U.S. aid? I'm like, oh, damn, everything is in it. FBA family, don't ever let these people run that game. Now, I know they get funding, and I know different entities give them funding, but that U.S. aid, man, that's like the golden goose of goodies, man. Do y'all know that U.S. aid, the U.S., your tax dollars, it funds small business grants and microloans to these people? You understand? It helps them start businesses before they even get here. That's why they get here and we're like, how the hell does this dude get a business and he just got here and the permit office is running me around? I know they ain't got something that I ain't got. I mean, damn, they don't know the paperwork like I know it. How the hell are they coming over getting these businesses like that? And then we get ran through the damn ringer. This is why. Yeah? So, yeah, with us, we got to start from scratch without any government-backed entrepreneurship set-asides of funds. We don't get nothing. We got to start, get everything out of the mud. We got to get everything out of the damn mud. Also, they build schools, USA, that funds schools and education programs over there. They get free education and free teacher training. They get school supplies, scholarships in Latin America, Africa, and Asia. Yeah? So they benefit from American-funded schooling before they arrive. You understand? It's not like they're coming over here just running circles. No, they're not dealing with Jim Crow and those. They're getting funded. They're getting specialized funded schools for free with our tax dollars before they even get here. Yeah. And we had to have a whole Brown versus the Board of Education movement just to get decent school supplies over here in our own country. You see?
Family, this is why I don't argue or go to war with these immigrants, because I understand, we all understand how the government have a hand in helping these people, not only while they're in their own countries, but whenever they get here. You have all type of housing programs and things and funds that's allocated towards them that Foundation of Black Americans can't get. You understand? We are not privy to certain programs. You have to be an immigrant. And that's not right, because we pay taxes as well, especially this. Now, this is the kicker. These people won't give you your just due, and that's fine. That's fine. But we will get our just due. I can promise you that. Because you had some people thought that we wasn't going to come out of slavery too. Oh, y'all begging. Okay. Apparently that you don't know what happened, though. Apparently you don't know what happened, right? You just going by what the history books told you, that these people just had a change of heart and the Lord touched them, huh? Yeah, they was some touching, all right, but it wasn't the Lord. But anywho, let's get back.
Man, don't let these people run no game. They get all types of goodies. Man, they get agricultural and economic development aid. They get farming equipment, fertilizer, agricultural training to stabilize their economies. Yeah. We don't get that over here as Foundation of Black Americans. They get direct humanitarian aid, food, housing, medical care over there. You see, our tax dollars, even in their home country, they get these little refugee camps or whatever. We're giving them free food, free housing, free medical supplies, free water programs. Yeah. So that allows them to save a lot of money before they can even immigrate over here. We don't get none of that. We got to struggle for food. We got to struggle for housing. We got to go through bullshit with the insurance company with our medical issues. Yes.
Facts.
Man, don't let nobody run no game. And also, man, a lot of our money, it provides security and military training over there, too, to stabilize those countries. They get military training, weapons, law enforcement funding, so they can have police agencies over there making sure things are stable. We fund this stuff. You understand? So a lot of these people are stabilized by U.S. intervention even before they arrive here.
Family, I detect not one single lie. This man is speaking the truth, and you should appreciate people being brutally honest. You should appreciate people candor. All right. But some of y'all, oh, no, he ain't telling the truth. Everything he said, you can literally go look it up and you can verify it. That's all that you have to do. But some of y'all don't want to see the truth. The truth of the matter is these people couldn't make it on their own. That's the truth of the matter. Now, the difference is between the FBAs and everybody else. We could make it on our own. See, but the catch is they'll cripple us because they have this superiority complex, right? This God complex. They'll cripple us. And then whenever that we turn around and say, well, all right, treat us fair. Oh, look at them. They begging. They can't make it on it. Yes, we can make it on our own. See, we the only group that you have to sabotage. We the only group. And you can literally go in any state in the United States and you will find multiple towns in cities that was bombarded or overthrown or decimated simply because they want you to depend on them. Understand this, guys. If we was just left alone, things would be a lot different. The world would be a better place, if you ask me. because we don't have this need to try to rule over somebody, to try to dominate people and all that old crazy stuff. And we don't even get a tenth of what everybody else get, including the white supremacists. The white supremacists get funded too, guys. The whole system is a welfare system. The white supremacy system is a welfare system. You think Elon Musk got where he got to simply by happenstance? Do you really think that? I'm going to do a video on him. Jason Black was talking about him, and he broke it down, and I'm going to play each clip for everybody can hear it and verify. I'm going to show you how Vice Media got started. The white supremacist hub got started off of government money. But the minute that we say something about government, oh, y'all begging. Oh, y'all want hand-me-outs. Well, let me ask you a question. Whenever the big three, that is Dodge, Chevrolet, and Ford, was in trouble, right? They received what they call a bailout. See, words matter. In the words of Dr. Nearly Footer. Understand the language. Words matter. They call it a bailout. Family, that wasn't nothing but simply a handout, welfare. But they put a different name on it and call it a bailout. You see, you have to think. They was giving these companies billions of dollars. That's welfare. See, family, but they'll come to you and tell you, you begging and you can't make it on your own. Every company gets government grants and loans and all type of stuff to fund their businesses, guys. I'm trying to tell y'all this stuff. These people don't make it on their own. The hand of the government be in it at all times. See, but we are the only people that's told you're begging. You're begging. You want to hand me out. Pull up your bootstraps and all this old foolishness.
So we got to deal with systematic oppression here on U.S. land on our own with no assistance. Also, another thing with that U.S. aid, that provides a lot of disaster relief over there. They get a whole bunch of disaster relief in those countries. Like after earthquakes, hurricanes, wars, the USA, that provides temporary housing, financial aid, rebuilding efforts in some of those areas. And they arrived over here after getting all of that stuff. And we don't get shit. Dude, we have had historical injustices. We've had these white supremacists burn our damn communities down, burn down the Black Wall Streets, burn down Wilmington, just decimate Black areas, flood Black areas, Oscarville, so many Black towns underwater. We don't get one dime. The people from Tulsa, even now, some of them are still alive. They're not getting no justice. The U.S. government under Biden, don't let them run that Trump is the racist. Oh, Trump is the real racist. No, under Biden, his administration, they had an opportunity to give reparative justice to the brothers and sisters of Tulsa, and they refused. You understand? And that was one of the most well-documented race riots because it was so egregious. They dropped bombs on these people. Mm-hmm. The first time bombs were dropped on U.S. soil, they dropped them on Black people, foundational Black Americans, and wouldn't compensate them to this day. And the people are still alive like, hey, where's that money? I'm still here. You see? Mm-mm. But they provide all types of disaster relief in those foreign nations. You see? Also, the U.S. aid, that builds infrastructures in these foreign countries. That builds roads, airports, utilities, yeah, electricity grids, water systems, the whole shebang. We've never had that. Hell, we get Flint. We got Flint, Michigan. And people are still low-key struggling over there. It was the public. We had to get a grassroots thing to get the people in Flint straight. Remember down in Mississippi, their water was janky. There had to be a grassroots effort to get that popping. We have to get it out the mud. Our brother Moses West, the brother has a machine that can create water. They were trying to sabotage his machine so he couldn't help the community.
Fact.
So even when we try to help ourselves, we get sabotaged. But these other groups, even before they get here, our tax dollars are being used to stabilize them. Mm-hmm. Don't let people run game on you, fam. Don't let them run game. Also, they do job training over there, too. That USAID provides a lot of job training programs, vocational schools, trade schools over there. That's fun. They're free, completely free. So they come over here with certain skills and they have the job positions already waiting for them. It ain't about no picking, no fruit and all that shit. All of that. Well, black folks, you don't want to do the jobs they want to do. Bullshit. We just want to get paid. We want to get paid correctly. But that USAID, that funds their training. Yeah. So yeah, don't let these people run game, man. They get a lot of set-asides and benefits before they come over. Now people are kicking and screaming and they're upset because Trump is up here shaking the table, which is good.
There you have it, guys, from Tariq Nasheed. I just wanted y'all to hear that, right? FBAs, do not be dismayed. These people are your enemy, not because I said it. Look at how they operate. Look at how they treat you. They your open enemy at that. I'm a Christian guy. I believe in forgiveness and all that. Just because I forgive somebody doesn't mean that I'm still not watching them. It still does not mean that I'm cautious. I'm very cautious around certain people, guys. Understand that. Trust is earned. I don't trust these people because they have a history of just a trail of tears, blood, and guts everywhere, right? I'm not trusting the people. And who am I talking about? Immigrants and the white supremacists. I'm not trusting neither one. Did you hear me? Now, my prayer is this, and I have said this many times over, but I'm going to repeat it for just good measure. When it comes to these white supremacists, my prayer is, Lord, hurricanes. Look me in my face. Hurricanes. I'm talking about the worst of the worst. Earthquakes. Tornadoes. Diseases. Fires. That's my prayer. The earth opening up, swallow them up. That's my prayer. Floods. That's my prayer. They don't want to give you justice? Okay. That's fine. For those that know, do anybody remember when the children of Israel cried out in Egypt? What happened? Now, I'm going to jump over to Jason Black, and I want y'all to hear this because this was very interesting to me, okay? Let's go, guys.
The insight and the analysis you'll receive absolutely nowhere else. Well, Jason, that's just one. Oh, don't worry. I didn't bring receipts. I brought invoices. I don't tell you what you paid. I tell you what you owe. Remember this story that I was covering last year about Chinatown in Los Angeles? Remember this story I was covering? Well, boys and girls, we've got an update. Well, why don't you take a look at this? Los Angeles Times, dated yesterday. Los Angeles, they're talking about the city council, cuts a tentative deal to provide $15 million to spare Chinatown tenants from steep rent hikes. Not from eviction, but from having the rent hiked on them. By David Zanizer. Residents who have been fighting huge rent increases at a Chinatown apartment complex could find some financial relief under a tentative deal reached between Los Angeles housing officials and the landlord. The proposed agreement would require the city to spend nearly $15 million to ensure that rents are subsidized in dozens, not hundreds, dozens of units inside the Hillside Villa apartments, according to a memo issued Friday by the city's housing department. Friday, which means going into the weekend, which means they did that deliberately on Friday as a news dump, hoping that most people would not recognize this is what the accursed LA City Council, who we all know what they do. We all know their attitude. We all know their attitude. Don't worry. Don't worry here, folks, because I know some of you here, I want you to read the small print under that picture for any of the clowns who might try to act like, well, Jason, they ain't really the Los Angeles City Council. It's the Los Angeles City Council. Take a look at the small print right below the photograph. The Los Angeles City Council will consider a deal. So even though the article has not yet said the Los Angeles City Council and the headline didn't say it, no, this is the LA City Council, just like the Long Beach City Council paying for food carts. This is the Los Angeles City Council saying, well, we think this would be a good use of taxpayer funds.
Do anybody remember the LA City Council being caught on audio saying some horrific things about the FBAs? Do anybody remember that? Using all type of racial epithets and things of that sort. Do anybody remember that? See, it's all across the board, guys. This is just one case. Hold on. And you haven't got to the meat and potatoes yet. Not as of yet. Hold on. But I'm showing you a pattern. See, I want to establish something with you here. You understand me? I want to establish this with you. That way, the evidence will be insurmountable. It would be irrefutable. You can't say nothing but, darn, he is telling the truth, because I have no reason to lie. Before I lie to you, I'll just cut the camera off and just go on about my business, because it don't profit me to sit here and tell people stories and just make up fibs, all right? These men are bringing you the truth about what's going on, boots on the ground, things what's happening in real time. That's why I bring them to y'all guys. Okay? Because I think it's important. I think it's important. You should know what's going on around you. You should know everything what's going on around you that would affect you. See, you're not going to get this on CNN or Fox or MSNBC. You understand? You're not going to get this on there. You have to come to us to get the real, authentic stories. These people make concessions for everybody except you. That's why whenever we having a conversation about hand-me-outs and people getting this and different funds been allocated to this group, that's why I sit back and I'm like, these people think that we dumb.
Not $2 or $3 neither. So they dumped this news on Friday, hoping that it would fly below the radar. And for most people, it probably will. But if you tune in here to the new black media, you'll be kept up to speed. The agreement would run through February 2034. Damn. So Long Beach is going to be giving out free permits and free carts all the way through 2025. And Los Angeles is going to cover these people. They said, oh, hold my beer. They're going to cover these folks for another 10 years. And would cover 106 of the building's 124 units. For some renters, the subsidies would close the gap between the amount they were paying in 2019 and the market rate rent the landlord wants to charge, city officials said. So in other words, I mean, this is beyond rent control. This is just straight up subsidy for what they were paying 5 years ago. The subsidy would not cover 17 apartments where tenants are already paying market rate or 1 unit reserved for the building's manager, the report said. The deal, if approved by the city council, is designed to resolve a long-running battle over steep rent hikes announced several years ago by 636 NHP LLC, the building's owner. The company sought those increases following the expiration of a 30-year agreement with the city that had restricted the building's rents. The new agreement would effectively scuttle efforts by tenant advocates to have the city acquire Hillside Villa using eminent domain. So the activists actually wanted the city to buy this apartment complex so they can keep their cheap rent. Now, if we were talking about that, they'd be calling it welfare. They'd be saying, pull yourself about your bootstraps. They'd be saying this misuse of government funds. That's what they'd be saying, housing project. If we were saying that, they would be saying this is you trying to turn into a housing project. What about the free market? Nobody talking about free market here.
I just can't do nothing for black people. No.
Ann Sewell, general manager of the Los Angeles Housing Department, warned the council in her memo that if the city completed a purchase of Hillside Villa, the cost of acquisition, renovations, and refinancing would reach nearly $93 million. She also pointed out that the owner has no interest in selling. The purchase of the property from an unwilling owner would be a long, expensive, and legally uncertain process, resulting in much higher acquisition costs, she wrote. The proposal will be taken up by the council's housing committee Wednesday before reaching the full council. Council member Unesis Hernandez, whose district includes Chinatown, declined to say whether she supports the agreement. An aide said Hernandez is still reviewing it. Sewell said her agency's proposal would give the city the first right of refusal to purchase the building if the owner decides to sell at any time before February 2037. The deal would also give tenants 6 years to finish paying back rent owed from the period between 2019 and 2024. Let me say that again. The deal also gives tenants 6 years to finish paying back rent owed from 2019 to 2024. So for the rest of y'all who are being taken to eviction court today since the pandemic, by the way, these folks here in Chinatown done swung a deal for the government and the city council with your tax dollars to subsidize them, and they got 6 years to pay theirs back. Not 6 months, 6 years.
The only thing that I can hear in my ear is President Barack Obama. I'm not just black people president. I'm all people president. We can't just do nothing for just one specific group. Ladies and gentlemen, for those that don't know or can't comprehend, that was a lie. I'm hearing Kamala Harris. I'm not just going to say that. I'm going to just do something for just black people. No. These people can do what they want to do. They'll send these black faces in to come and chop you down and tell you they can't just do nothing specifically just for black people. That's a lie, because they're doing something for the Asians. They do things for the white folks. They do things for certain immigrant groups. Yeah, but when it comes to you, with your black, ugly self, we can't do nothing just for you. And these people are play directly in your face. That's why when things happen, and the Lord had to help me with this, that's why when things happen, I don't say anything. I don't say a word. We need y'all support. What's going on up at the border? We need y'all vote. Get out and vote or die. Whatever. None of that don't move me, because I see how you treat our people. It's not like we asking for something that nobody else haven't already gotten. You just don't want to do the right thing. And that's fine. But I told you my prayer. I told you what my prayer is. I'm going to pray fire and brimstone. That's what I'm praying. You understand? It's time out for playing games and lollygagging and shucking and jiving. No, time out for that, man. It's getting too late up in the evening for that. It's time for some tangibles. You understand? Some hardcore tangibles, just like everybody else.
They've been extended 10 years overall of lower rent, and they got 6 years to pay the back rent.
Hold on.
If those tenants enter into a repayment agreement and make the required payments over the 6-year period, the owner, quote, will not seek to evict tenants for unpaid rent covered by that agreement, the report said. tenant advocates have spent several years pressuring city leaders to forcibly purchase Hillside Villa, staging protests at their homes and elsewhere. They launched their campaign after the building's mostly Latino and Asian residents, many of them elderly and low income, received notice that their rent would double or even triple. On Friday, one tenant advocate voiced disappointment in the city's proposal, saying she is especially concerned that tenants will still be asked to pay back unpaid rent.
Auntie, too.
She's saying, hey, why should we have to pay any of the back rent?
You see?
That's what they're telling them. Hey, by the way, hey, it ain't enough. Why do we have to pay any of the back rent? It goes on to say here that at this point, 35 households are facing eviction, said Annie Shaw, an organizer with Chinatown Community for Equitable Development, a group that has been working closely with Hillside Villa tenants. Several others owe back rent but have not been served with legal paperwork, she said. This agreement is very far from what the community really needs, she said. Eminent domain would have been a far better solution. Shaw and a handful of Hillside Villa tenants showed up at Friday's city council meeting to present their own list of demands, calling for unpaid rent to be 100% forgiven. What? They also said any agreement to subsidize rents should remain in place for 99 years. No, you heard that correctly.
Say it again. Say it again.
They said that they want all of the unpaid rent to be 100% forgiven, and that any agreement to subsidize the rents, it shouldn't be for 10 years. It should be for 99 years. Now, if this was a group of black people sitting in front of the Los Angeles City Council talking about we want no rent and we want subsidized rent. We haven't paid rent in 5 years. We want you to just charge that to the game. And we want 99 years of subsidies for the rent that we do pay. 99 years. Folks, these are a bunch of elderly people who live there now. 99 years? Well, obviously, barring the rapture, none of these people will be there in 99 years. So who is that going to cover for the next century?
Right.
Who is that going to cover?
Did you hear? 99 years. This is what these people are proposing. These people get subsidized 7 ways to Sunday, while you begging, grappling, scraping, and they still on your neck. If you don't understand the game by now, there is no help for you. Just wither on the vine and fall off, okay? At this point, wither on the vine. You hear the information. This is evidence of what we've been saying. Family, this been going on a long time. This here has been going on for eons. You just didn't know about it. You just wasn't pertinent to this information. You wasn't privy to it. That's all it was. See, but now you have voices out there bringing you the information. 99 years. These people want to be subsidized in Los Angeles. Family, this is not just the Asians. This is all of them. I remember not too long ago, the police wasn't even charging illegal immigrants with driving without a license. They wasn't even sending them home. They said because it was a hardship on them. I'm telling y'all, they make concessions for these people in every which way that you can imagine. Now, if you were to come up and ask for the same exact thing, they'll call the police on you. These people on drugs, they crazy. Asking for 99 years. You heard it.
Since they won't be there, who are they trying to protect with that? They go on to say here that Mary Ramos, a resident of Hillside Villas, said the deal to establish rental subsidies through 2034 would not be enough. Quote, I am 73. I will be 83 by that time, she told the council. Thomas Botts, the managing member of 636 NHP, declined to discuss the specifics of the proposed deal, saying Friday that it, quote, speaks for itself. I hope the tenants appreciate what Ann Sewell is doing for them and the city and will not be misled by the tenant organizers, he said. Hillside Villa already accepts Section 8 rental vouchers at 68 of the building's units, according to the housing department. Former council member Gil Cedillo, that name sound familiar? Who represented Chinatown for nearly a decade, launched the effort within City Hall to purchase Hillside Villa in 2020 after an earlier round of negotiations with Botts broke down.
Family, tell me exactly what y'all think in the comment section, all right? Post your thoughts and your ideas and your opinions in the comment section. Don't let these people project onto you like it's you, like you getting something like everybody else don't get. That's a lie. That's a farce. They get 3 times, 4 times as much as you get. You get measly crumbs while they get slices of pie, quarter pie, half a pie. Some of them get a whole pie. And they'll turn around and project on you like you begging. I don't pay them people no attention. Water on a duck back is how I handle the situation. They don't infiltrate my thoughts. I hear it, but I don't hear it. You understand? I hear it, but I'm not listening. Because I know that tactic is used to try to actually make you feel less than, like you this big, like everybody else doing so much and you can't do nothing on your own. No, it's because your slew foot out there trying to trip me, and not trying, but you tripping me. So family, now I'm starting to look at the person that's tripping me and sabotaging me, because I know what my people are capable of. History has brought out everything that I just said. I know what my people are capable of. Our people are resilient. They intrepid. They courageous. They innovative. They free thinkers. That's why all of those inventions were invented so quickly. Because whenever we separated, they really wasn't no oversight. And that's when everything popped off. They came back. These niggas building up. No. We got to do something about this. If not, these people gonna take over. They mobs that went up into Wilmington and just burned the whole town down. Burned the cities up. Ran the governor and the mayors and all them people out of the city. Black people now, minding their business. Wasn't bothering nobody. And this happened from the West Coast to the East Coast and everything in between. These people know who you are. Some of y'all just don't know who you are. And I'm not going to get into a Bible session, but they can't be this many coincidences, right? There's so many things that's spot on. If I was a non-believer man, I would just look at it like, how in the world is all of these prophecies right, though? You think that's a coincidence? Apparently something wrong with you then, all right? It's called a prophecy. What's to come? Foreshadowing what's to come. And guys, I'm gonna just leave it there, but put it in the comment section. Hit the like button, guys. Hit the share button, subscribe, and come on back to see me, because you see what I'm doing, guys. I'm putting in the work. And shout out to Tariq, Nasheed. Shout out to Jason Black. But guys, until next time, peace. And remember, there is more.